the Starc catch. We already heard from a few legends. I think Glenn McGrath was furious. He said, if this is not a legal catch, then I
Wow.
think any catch taken in the history of cricket is not legal. Right? He called it, this is a load of rubbish. If I'm not mistaken, he said it on BBC commentary. So
He
we've heard
did.
it from Glenn McGrath already. That Starc catch, which he took, he was in control. But then the third umpire had a look and then he was given not out. This time I'll let you two go first and then I'll probably come up with mine.
Yeah, I think, Nikhil sir, I'm failing to understand these rules about, having control and all those sort of things. As just, go back to the basics of cricket. What is a catch? A catch is, an incident where the ball has been received in your palms and has not touched the ground.
Yeah.
That's the basic of a catch, right? And I don't know when the rules, became about control and all of that. I'm just having such a hard time wrapping my head around it, because the ball was clearly grazing the ground, and for a long time that too.
Yeah.
So how can it be an out, a wicket, if the ball is touching the ground? How is that possible? I
Exactly.
don't understand. For me, it's going to be a not out, no matter if there were, Mitchell Starc was in control of it or was not in control of it. As soon as the ball touches the ground, it's going to be not out for me.
Exactly, and in fact, you were talking about the confusion aspect of
Yeah.
thing. You know who else was really confused by it all? Marcus Trescothick,
Yeah.
who happens to be the batting coach of the England team. Even he's saying, you know what, with the new interpretations and the way it's put out, even we weren't entirely sure whether he was out. He's saying, because when we watched that with the naked eye, I was like, yeah, it's out, no problems whatsoever. But then now with the way the umpires are interpreting it, it means that you have to be in full control of the ball, and your body must also be in full control, which means not just the case of fingers under the ball, but no part should be touching the ground. Especially not for an elongated or a significant period, because with Starc you could clearly see that he slid for about a second or two.
Palm was facing
His
down.
palm was facing downwards. The ball is slid like this. How can you be saying that is out? How can you be claiming that catch? You
Right.
should not even be claiming that catch. And the fact that he did in itself is surprising. But fair, at least I will give the third umpire props. They got it right for once. I don't think they got it entirely right with Labuschagne and Shubman Gill. No, sorry, Cam Green and Shubman Gill, and of course Smith with Joe Root.
Yeah.
That catch was also, I don't think it was out.
Okay, so as I see it, it's an interesting one. I agree with Gargi's assessment, and that's the first thing that I thought to myself, like, forget all interpretations, forget all the jargon that comes along with the rules. Let's get back to basics. And what does the basic tell us? Again, as I say, you play cricket at any level. It's simple. You take the catch in a way that you finish taking a catch, the whole movement, whichever you've started, you finish it, and by the time you finish, the ball has not touched the ground. That's the basic, right?
Exactly.
In Starc's case, that did not happen. He touched the ground. So if you ask me in a black and white sort of an answer, then it's a clear not out for me, because the ball touched the ground. I'm not looking at any gray areas in the rules, and I'll address that as we go along. But you ask me black and white, plain and simple, because the fact that the ball touched the ground while the movement was still on of him taking a catch, simple, it's not out. And as I said, it wasn't even a decision that was taken, in an instance. It could have been a mistake. It was referred to the TV umpire. He saw all those visuals and obviously, knows a thing or two more about than us when it comes to the rules, and then decided to give this a not out. And I tend to agree. Now, just to give Starc some sort of benefit of the doubt, I have a feeling that, see, the way Starc took that catch, and just benefit of the doubt to him, he took that catch, and I don't think, see, sometimes when you take a catch, you're diving, you're in a position that you are forced for the ball to touch the ground. Okay, and then it's not out. In Starc's case, the way he took that catch, and he was in control, when he touches the ball, I'm guessing he could have avoided it also. He wasn't forced to touch that ball to the ground, because he was far more in control compared to some other catch where you're diving so far ahead that you are forced to touch the ball into the ground. In this case, he was in control. So again, I'm trying to think from Starc's point of view. I think in his mind, he thought that if you take the catch and if you're fully in control, even if the ball was then to touch the ground, it would still be out. I think that was his interpretation of the rule, which is why he touched it. In hindsight, if Starc was to be in that same situation again, I think he'll take that catch and he was comfortable enough to ensure that the ball does not touch the ground. It wasn't that he was, losing his balance so badly that he had no option but to do it. He could have avoided it. He could have, slided his hand this way as well. I think in hindsight, if he was to take this catch, he would have done it differently, and he could have still got that catch. So again, I don't think Starc was trying to cheat here, and that's why I give you his point of view. I don't think he was trying to cheat here. That wasn't his intention. And because a lot of criticism is going with that, he was trying to claim a catch which he himself knew had touched the ground. Yes, he claimed that catch, but I think in his interpretation, being in control was more important. And if the ball was touching the ground, that wasn't an issue. If he had known that touching the ball onto the ground would be a not out, then I guess he wouldn't have done it in the first place, let alone claim a catch. So I don't think Starc was trying to be a cheat. That I think is important, because all the booing and all that, things boiling over is based on the fact that, he was trying to deceive. Again, I don't think he was trying to deceive. In his mind, being in control and catching the ball like that was out, which again, according to the rules, is not. And that it was given not out, I think, is the correct decision. Just to compare it to the Shubman Gill thing, and I think why that Shubman Gill instance, the umpire got it right, and that was out. And in this case, it was not out, because in Shubman Gill's case, there was a doubt, because you could see fingers under the ball. So there was a doubt whether the ball touched any part of the ground. Here, there's no doubt. That's why the umpire didn't think twice, gave it not out. In Shubman Gill's case, there was a doubt. And then the interpretation of the rule there says that if there are fingers under the ball, and then there is doubt that whether the ball has touched the ground or not, then in this case, usually the benefit of the doubt goes in batsman's favor. In this case, the benefit of the doubt then goes to the fielder. If you can clearly see any sort of fingers under the ball, and then you're a bit confused, yes, the fingers are under the ball, but I'm not sure if it's touched the ground or not, I'm 50-50, then benefit of the doubt goes to the fielder. So I think they followed the rules to the T there, and so that decision that was taken in Shubman Gill's case was also right. The decision that was taken in Michael Starc's case is also right. So I think that's where things stand right now. But I just, again, to clear the doubt, I don't think Starc was trying to cheat. But in the end, the right call was made.